My first and foremost protocol for skincare, especially in our face, is the number one product you must be using is sunscreen.
Mm,
Sunscreen, because it doesn't matter what products you're going to be using. Once you're out in the sun and your skin is not protected, everything falls to the wayside because that sun is super dangerous, super damaging. There's UVAs, UVBs. UVBs, they burn us. The UVAs, they age us. Those UVAs,
mm,
they go completely, they go really, really deep into our skin dermis, epidermis. We have like 8 layers of skin. So you may think that you're seeing the discoloration on here, but the damage might be much, much deeper. So as we're shedding the
mm,
old skin and the new skin's coming in, and then you and notice like all of a sudden the dark spot looks even darker. It's
mm,
because pigmentation has been damaged through all
mm.
the layers.
Welcome to I Think I Can podcast. My name is Luella Young. I am a woman who believes that we, like wine, get better with age. Age brings us wisdom, intuition, and a level of sophistication that is beyond the reach of youth. I am here to tell you that living a luxuriously rich and fulfilling life is in your reach. I Think I Can podcast will teach you to think differently in order to get different results. Allow me to show you how to do life effortlessly. This podcast is for the woman who is tired of playing by the rules of society, community, religion, parents, and partners. I Think I Can is all about becoming brave, authentic, purposeful, and strong. Listen weekly, and you will find yourself living a life you could have only once dreamed of. Thoughts drive our physiology. So channel your thoughts with me into a life truly worth living. Enjoy the show. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I am holding or hosting, I should say, a course, a class, a mastermind, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be December 3rd and 4th, and it's going to be it's going to be live in the morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the topic is how to stay happy within a relationship that you're very unsure of and but not ready yet to make a solid decision. It's all about going and discovering who you are as a person, looking in deep within your heart, deep within your soul, and starting to love yourself a lot more. That's really the essence of the whole course. It's how to what does that look like? And how can I do that? And at the end of the course, I'm hoping you're going to have a better idea of should I continue this relationship or should I let it go? Because it's you just do your work on yourself and allow your journey to unfold the way it's meant to go. Um, Not one is wrong, one is right. It simply just is. So I would be totally excited if you can join me for this class again, December 4th and 5th. Hope to see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to I Think I Can podcast. Today, I'm delighted to have Shirley Hiiman with me. Shirley is a licensed esthetician and an essential oil practitioner, and she is all about holistic healing, especially when it comes to taking care of your skin. I have a feeling that this is going to be a very interesting episode, especially if you're like me and we want to preserve our youthful, radiant look as much as possible and defy the aging process. So, welcome, Shirley.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. I and Shirley's from New York, and she is originally from Israel. So you're gonna hear a bit of an interesting accent. I love people's accents. So anyway, okay. So Shirley, tell us how you even got into this profession. What's your
Okay.
story?
My story is I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
And was, taking care of my children and they were getting sick. I would go to the doctor, regular normal protocols. And then at some point, I just wasn't vibing with the antibiotics. I wasn't vibing with the
Mm-hmm.
Benadryl over the counter. It just wasn't working. It just wasn't
Mm-hmm.
getting the results I was looking for. And I felt so helpless, like completely helpless that I couldn't help my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And, I believe that things come to our life when they're meant to come into our life. And about 5 years ago, essential oils entered my life and they've changed the game for me on every level and every aspect where I can really say I'm a mom healer. I had
Mm-hmm.
an oil for everything, whether it's for an earache, sore throat, a tummy ache, anything and everything that you could possibly think on the that humans beings struggle with sleep, deprivation, infections, acne, everything and anything. And this was like so wonderful. I was like, wow, I need to learn more about this. And then I started learning more about the different types of oils and how all
Mm-hmm.
oils are not the same and how to use them in the proper way and how important it is to have someone guide you. And then I've always been a person using my hands. I've always like touched my family in healing ways, not knowing my own power.
Mm-hmm.
And oils just like expanded and magnetized the things I was able to achieve. And in New York City, in order for you to be able to apply essential oils on somebody else, you must be a licensed esthetician.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved skin. I've always taken good care of my skin. My mom was always like applying, masks and things like that at home. And so something I always grew up with. Um, and it just led me, the oils led me to become the esthetician. And then the knowledge and learning more about ingredients, which reiterated how important and how thankful I am for these oils because the ones I use are pure, completely pure, non-toxic,
Mm-hmm.
not diluted in any way. So then you get the
Mm-hmm.
therapeutic properties from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my skin, I started using them on my skin, creating my own serums. One of my daughters came to me, she's like, "Oh, mom, you like Harry Potter, like the wizard, you have your potion and you're able to like just pick and choose what you need." And I said, yeah. And I just love teaching, other moms, other women, how to be powerful with amazing tools. I mean, it's not just
Mm-hmm.
essential oils. There's other things we can do for ourselves to make our skin last longer, to work on our facial muscles because it's very yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's intertwined. I can speak about so many different aspects
Oh.
of natural skincare, but I want to focus today on the oils. Um, and because really it can lead us to so many other places for the holistic facial
Yeah.
face care.
No. As you speak, I'm like, tell me more, tell me more. um, what was your first like? What's your first memory of using? Like, I love the fact that it's you're a stay at home mom and you did it out of almost necessity sort of thing, and it brought you to this place you are right now. But do you remember one of the first oils you tried that you saw a result and you were like, oh my goodness. Do you
Yes,
remember?
100%.
Of
Yes.
course you do. Yeah.
So I have three daughters, and my middle one, she's very fair skinned. Since she was born, she was dealing with irritated skin, inflammations. They call it eczema. There's
Yeah.
different names for it. She's had me, we've used all the creams, all the prescriptions, and nothing was working. And I said, I'm going to take this lavender oil and I'm just going to give it a try.
Mm,
So I recommend to dilute the oils always because they just
mhm.
work better when diluted. You can. The oils that I use, you definitely can use them straight on your skin with guidance. It's very
Okay.
important to have guidance with oils. It's not okay to
Yeah.
go buy any oil to bring it home and start using it. You really need to have like some basic ABC type of tips of someone that's
Mhm.
been there before to help guide you until you build your confidence, you listen to your intuition, and it's just a relationship that you have with
Mhm.
oils. And so I started using the lavender oil, and lo and behold, the rashes, the redness, the irritation was subsiding like I don't want to say instantaneously, but it was pretty fast. With
Mhm.
the results really fast. And then I was like,
Mhm.
okay, so now I have to learn more about my youngest daughter. She used to have like ear infections. She would go in the pool, come out, ear infection,
Mm.
antibiotics, and it would lead to on and on. And then I learned about tea tree oil. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. And the lavender, which is calming, beautiful combination. I rubbed it like behind the ear for her before anything would even occur, kind of like preventative also.
Oh, yeah.
So for the skin, it's like you're using it specifically now. You might choose to use it for like, maybe some discoloration, maybe some redness in certain areas that you're dealing with. And
Mhm.
as you're using the oils, it's, you're balancing your skin out throughout your treatment every day as you're waking up, washing your face, applying the product and the serum onto your face, and then you're doing the same routine at night. And then you're maintaining and you're kind of preventing other things from showing up because
Mhm.
of the healing properties they provide.
Mhm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? I know when you think healing, holistic, um, if like obviously we're going to speak about skin and hair and nails and things like that. But how about emotional and mental? Like, I mean, when I think I hear lavender, I just think of calming and sleep and things like that. Like, did you notice differences in your daughter's um emotional or mental well-being from the use?
Yes, and not, yes, 100% to all those questions. It
Mm,
definitely works on an emotional level. The oils have supported me through my self-development, through my
mm,
self-healing. And I use them at home to calm things down,
mhm,
before the girls come home. It's already
mm,
diffusing. You can diffuse it in the air,
mm,
and it's constant to something you have to think about. And you just know that the air in your home is having these properties, whether it's, purifying properties, calming. You can make a mixture of things depending
mm.
on what it is you're dealing with at the moment, stress, anxiety. They've definitely helped, my daughters reach for them for focus when they're studying
Oh.
for an exam. So they work on an emotional, psychological, because they work from the olfactory system, and that's
Mm,
related to the memory.
mm, mm,
So it's all connected
mm,
100%. And like definitely the skin, from the inside out, it's not just what you're going to apply on the skin topically. It's
mm.
also, your gut health.
Right.
How much sleep are you getting? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Are you releasing that stress?
Mm.
It's
Whew.
like never ending. It's a whole world that I've dove into. And just like the skincare is like my niche type of thing, but I'm
Mm.
also an advocate for wellness. So I love to educate people about how to use them to heal themselves, really,
Okay,
from any.
so tell us, okay, so you're a stay-at-home mom, you started using these oils, you saw the benefit. So was it a 100% yes, I'm going to like what is it like a courses then you take
So
or
it's a license. So
okay.
you have to sign up. I had to sign up. So I'm a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
dedicated to my daughters. And as they're growing, I'm like, okay, so my daughters are growing. My goal was really to be a great mom. I
Mhm.
didn't have the goal of a career at the time when I was having my daughters. So I dedicated myself as being a mom. And then I saw that, I'm raising these beautiful daughters. They have their goals, they have their dreams. They're going out to the world. They're going to make, to live out their dreams. And so what am I going to do? I don't want to be that depressed empty nester.
Yeah, yeah.
So I knew that I had so much inside of me. I just needed to like tap into it. And I never really
Mhm.
allowed myself the time to do that.
Mm.
So about like 12 years ago is when my real journey started with myself. And kind of like I said, the oils like entered, I think, when I was ready
Yeah.
to amplify a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, and so that I'm also a wellness advocate. So I do classes, I educate people about essential oils and
Mhm.
how you can implement them in your home. And it's beyond our bodies, it's also our surroundings, non-toxic house cleaning and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's all, it's a ripple effect.
Exactly. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's a typical way that you would help somebody out there, you know, that comes across your work? Like is it group programs? Is it one-on-one? What do
So
you do?
so right now, I'm actually coming into myself and I'm, leading myself to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so my goal is really I will create a program. I'm actually coming out with one and I'll be like doing modules and um, going deep into breaking things down
Mhm.
as far as really I'm starting with the healing process of the body, which
Mhm.
will lead to the beautiful skin that you can nourish
Mhm.
topically.
Hmm. Okay,
Because I
so
really, I'm not about, I'm here to sell you an oil,
right.
and
Yeah.
here you go, and I'll sell you a serum, and you can have beautiful skin. It's really about the whole process. So the introduction to ourselves, really, and then introducing the oils and how they can support
Mhm.
us. And it's very customizable
Mm.
because I'm also gonna be doing like one-on-one coaching. So then I will be having personal conversation with you. And it's not that you have to now go learn about essential oils. It's about me plugging you into a community that is already using the oils, that is sharing information that you can plug into specific things that you're looking for answers for.
Mm.
So not like you have to now learn about all these oils and how they can work for you and what they're good for. It's about me teaching you about how they work for you and specifically for the things that you're looking to heal in your life. And of course, skin is, the largest organ and it's a reflection of what's actually going on inside of us. And that all works together.
So give us an example then of a person that you've worked with or touched that you've seen some great results, like using the method that you sort of just described.
So I have a very close caregiver. She's been helping me raise my daughters for
Mm.
the past 16 and a half years. And she was struggling with a lot of health issues and it was showing up in her skin.
Mm-hmm.
Darker circles,
Mm-hmm.
and some patches on her skin and some other internal issues she was dealing with, like a high glucose and some UTIs. And so I started
Mm-hmm.
her on a protocol. Oregano, okay, oregano oil is a natural antibiotic. Oregano oil is one of those oils you definitely want to have guidance on. Once you know how to use it, you're a free agent because you're working with your body. So, there's a starting point for everybody, and then you take it to where your body can handle whether it's you need a little bit more or a little bit less. So
Mm-hmm.
I gave her a protocol for her she was drinking cranberry juice. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've healed
Mm-hmm.
myself from that as well. So I was giving her the protocol for the UTI, which included the oregano. And then so the oils that I work with,
Mm-hmm.
you can take them internally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can apply them topically and you can inhale them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Because I like it's interesting because I know in terms of kind of healing my own gut, I've taken supplements that are it's oil of oregano and Allison. Oh yeah, it's just garlic. So
yeah,
it's sort of like yeah, natural antimicrobials for the gut. So you're saying that like through some sort of tincture that you create, you're putting in oil of oregano plus some other things
yeah.
that will help with the UTIs. Okay.
Well, quick correction.
Okay.
Oil of oil of oregano is not the same as an essential oil oregano
Oh,
oil.
interesting.
They're different. The oil of oregano is diluted. It has additional components in it. The
Okay.
essential oil that I'm referring to is a pure with nothing else in it, essential oil from the oregano plant.
Hmm. Had no
Yes,
idea. I didn't know that
yes.
was okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the essential oil business is not regulated by any
Mm,
governing
mm,
agent at all. Therefore, you or me can wake up tomorrow morning and say, "Oh, I want to open up an essential oil company, do some really
mhm,
great branding, get some beautiful bottles, get it
mhm,
on the shelves. Nobody's checking what's inside of it."
mm,
So the oils that I use, the company does a seven-step process of testing, outside testing,
mm.
freestanding testing
Yeah.
that's not affiliated with the company itself for purity.
Mm,
And each batch that is sourced goes through this rigorous testing. Therefore, I feel comfortable. I first started on my own. I started on myself. And then when I felt confident and comfortable to use them, I applied them to my children, my husband,
okay.
the rest of the family. So I'm just going to go back to the
Yeah.
protocol that I did. So I did the protocol. I added frankincense, which is amazing. It has so many properties. It's great for your bones. It's great for your cells. It rejuvenates your cells. It's great for anti-aging. So like within internally, you're repairing cells, which is making skin renewal and skin shedding faster, helping the healing
Mm-hmm.
process. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
what the oils do is they support the body to heal itself faster because our bodies heal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Exactly.
what are we giving the body to maintain and preserve and continued healing?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to say that she's no longer taking her glucose medication. She's been off her medication for the past year and a half. She's no longer suffering from UTIs. And she goes for regular, blood, and she compares her numbers. And I've been following her for the past 3 years. But officially, I can say, like the past year, she's not on her medication. She's feeling much more energized, and her skin is looking much better because when a lot of people don't know, they think that you have dark circles under your eyes, you're not getting enough sleep, or it's aging or something like that. Those are contributors, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
the only thing. If our
Mm-hmm.
liver is not working, functioning
Mm-hmm.
properly, that affects the
Mm-hmm.
circles under our eyes.
Hmm. So then I have to ask, like, there must be some sort of nutrition protocol that you would also suggest because I mean, food is medicine, and we're
100%.
talking about plants and plant oils. So obviously it's sourced from like food,
Yes.
and yeah.
So the oils that I use are globally sourced,
Hmm.
meaning each oil is picked from its ripe environment that is right for them. For example, the lemons are from Italy.
Nice.
The oregano is from Turkey.
Mm,
Their wintergreen is from Nigeria. So they globally source
mm,
their oils from where the best environment is for them, the best soil, the best temperature. And then the farmers are then taught to pick them at the peak of the therapeutic
mm,
properties. So it's a very rigorous process. This company is
mm,
like they part of my soul. They're part of humanity. They're giving back to the world. They're teaching the farmers. They're creating new communities. It's just like a whole beautiful kind of process from
yeah.
beginning to end.
What is the name of the
Their name
company?
is doTERRA.
Okay, I think
doTERRA
I've heard of
doTERRA
it.
is one of the top leading companies. There's Young Living and doTERRA.
Okay.
doTERRA has been around for 11 years,
Okay.
and they're just amazing, beautiful company that actually care about human beings. They care about our well-being. And back to the nutritional aspect,
Yeah.
100%. You're not drinking that water, if you're not eating your vegetables, and even when you are, most humans cannot consume the quantities of nutrients that we actually need, whether it's enzymes or electrolytes. So definitely supplementing is something that I recommend, because it makes a big difference. The gut health, the enzymes, it's all, making our body system work at its highest way so we can be the healthiest.
Right. Okay. So, um, Yeah, so many different places I can go here.
Yes, I know.
I know it's hard to keep it specific, but
Yes.
so what like yeah, so what are the most, maybe you could, if you could share some protocols for the most common, ailments or skin conditions that people come to you for. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking um acne, like teenage
Mhm.
acne,
Yes.
would be one. I'm thinking scars from, surgeries that people have. Um, and myself, I'm thinking like age spots, or, I don't know what you would even call that, like the brown spots from, I think they're called age spots, like that you might.
Yeah, so I love to call them sun kisses.
Okay.
They're hyperpigmentation. It's a discoloration from as a reaction from the sun.
Okay.
So my first and foremost protocol for skincare, especially in our face, is the number one product you must be using is sunscreen.
Mm,
Sunscreen, 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 because it doesn't matter what products you're going to be using. Once you're out in the sun and your skin is not protected, everything falls to the wayside because that sun is super dangerous, super damaging. There's UVAs, UVBs. UVBs, they burn us. The UVAs, they age us. Those UVAs,
mm,
they go completely, they go really, really deep into our skin dermis, epidermis. We have like 8 layers of skin. So you may think that you're seeing the discoloration on here, but the damage might be much, much deeper. So as we're shedding the
mm,
old skin and the new skin's coming in, and then you and notice like all of a sudden the dark spot looks even darker. It's
mhm,
because pigmentation has been damaged through all
mm,
the layers. Okay. So
mhm,
for something like that, you would need definitely, so again, the sunscreen definitely need something that is brightening or lightening. So an oil that would be brightening or lightening would be like a lemon, the citruses, a grapefruit.
mm,
Those
mm,
would only be recommended to use during the evening time. You don't want to go out in the sun with the citrus because those are photosensitive. They will make you burn because the citric acid with the combination
right.
of the sun will activate. So precautions, nothing to be fearful of,
Yeah.
just to be aware, you know?
Mhm,
Um, and again, I really want to reiterate, I don't recommend this with any other oils except the ones that I've been using, which is doTERRA, because I don't know the purity of
yep,
any company.
yeah,
Um, and so that would be for the discoloration. And
mhm,
the thing with that is because it's penetrating into the inside layers, it's also healing with the hidden, what we don't really see.
mm,
Because what happens is the skin, the our cell membrane is oil based, and
mhm,
oils absorb each other very, very well, and they hold on to each other, and then
mhm,
they're able to penetrate even deeper, which then the cells carry it out. You might be thinking you're treating your hyperpigmentation, and you
mhm,
are, but in addition to that, your cells are taking those oils and those
mhm,
benefits everywhere else. So you're
mhm.
getting healing without even thinking about it, really, because you're targeting one thing and you're getting healing for many other things that you may not be aware of. And I think your second question was scars.
Yeah, yeah, healing of scars.
Oh,
Mhm,
I have a personal story about that. A couple of years ago, I had some cosmetic surgery, and I because I know what I know about oils, I was able
mhm,
to start a little bit sooner because most of the time the doctor will tell you have to wait for this scar tissue to start forming before you can start treating the scar, which is kind of like backwards because you're trying to prevent scar tissue because the scar tissue creates the scar,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I didn't apply the oils directly to my scar. I applied it around the scar. So my skin was still absorbing it, still
Mm,
healing it, but I wasn't necessarily applying it directly to the scar. And once the doctor gave me the okay to apply it directly, then I was already getting the benefits from around and on top.
mm,
And I really have to share that when I came for my follow-up, which was 2 weeks later, he was shocked. Like he couldn't believe. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you using? You're not supposed to be using anything on the scar." I said, "I'm not using it on the scar. I'm using it around the scar. It's not touching the new tissue." He was just like He couldn't believe it. Like he really couldn't believe
So
it.
what was the oil?
So it's a combination of oils. It was
Yeah.
frankincense, tea tree, lavender, a copaiba, which is an amazing, amazing oil I can talk about all day long.
Never
Um,
heard of it. Never heard of it.
yeah, it comes from the Amazon of Brazil. It's just like has amazing benefits. It works with the cannabinoid system in our brain. It's
Mm.
just yeah, marvelous. There's so much. But so like lavender, tea tree, frankincense, those are like oils everybody wants should have because
Yeah.
they're good for so many things. And there's a few other oils that are recommended as a like don't start with one oil because one oil is really not going to take you far. It's like it's really important to have a like a kit or a starter point.
Mm.
You know, I really recommend like having the starter point and like maybe having a diffuser because I love diffusers. That's how I
Mm.
diffuse the oils consistently,
Mhm.
but I think about them as they're supporting me. So I'm diffusing the, as in the air before sleep. So it's back to touching on the fact of how it's helping my daughter. So while I'm diffusing it, if you love the lavender smell, which she happens to love, I will put a drop on her pillowcase, on her blanket. So like as you're sleeping, it's continuously supporting you.
Mm.
You can apply them to the bottom of the feet. It's absorbed through the reflexology points into all the internal organs. So there's all these protocols. It's like you're attacking something from all parts. You're breathing it in, you're applying it to your skin, you're applying it directly to where you want specific healing.
Mhm.
And it's just like
I'm just
amazing.
I'm just imagining your part like your family just walking around like just like all like zen and radiant and
They
it's
don't,
like
we're New Yorkers after all.
that's
But
true.
with that being said, when I first brought them into my family, they thought I lost my mind. They're like, what are these things in my
Yeah.
house?
Yeah.
And as they started feeling the healing properties, like my daughters, as soon as they already know, like they already have a bottle of tea tree oil. And if they have a sore throat or their throat is starting to hurt as the weather is getting colder here, the change of the
Yeah.
temperature, they're rubbing that on 2, 3 days, no cough. Like, it doesn't even evolve into something more. You're able
Wow.
to stop things in their tracks. And that tea tree goes for their acne. You touched on
Yes.
acne. The
Yeah.
teacher, I have teenagers. I have a going on
Yes.
16-year-old, a going on 18-year-old. My
Yeah.
oldest is 22. So through the years, this is what they've been using. So it never even got to the point where like it got to the bad acne of the inflammation and the pus because
Right.
you're able to reduce the inflammation and heal it before it
Mm-hmm.
even evolves into something bigger. For the ones
Mm-hmm.
that are already dealing with the acne, with the irritation, with the redness. Again, tea
Mm-hmm.
tree, frankincense, that helps renew the cells, helps the healing. And of course, with the teenagers, you have to talk to them about, no greasy food, the soda,
Exactly. Yeah.
because otherwise it's defeating the purpose. Because the hormones are doing what they're doing. We want to help the hormones try to kind of not overload because they already are overloading at this age,
Yes.
especially the
Yeah.
teenagers. So yeah,
Yeah.
the diet and the topical for the ones that are suffering from the really active acne, the tea tree would be amazing. The copaiba would be amazing. The frankincense would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Jehovah. Jehovah is
Jojoba would be the carrier oil. So
okay.
a carrier oil helps the oils penetrate, helps to carry the oils where they
Oh,
need to go. And that's what one of the things I mentioned that I recommend to dilute is because of the delivery system. So the jojoba
mm-hmm.
oil is the closest oil to our sebum production oil, the human. So it's very, very similar. And
Mm-hmm.
consistency
Mm-hmm.
and texture and everything that it offers. Though sometimes you can use a fractionated coconut oil because the jojoba
Mm,
oil, for example, during the summertime, it could be a little bit heavy, a little bit heavy. It's good for
yeah.
a night. It would be great for a night serum, but I
Okay.
wouldn't maybe recommend it for the daytime. It's a little bit heavier. It's very moisturizing and nourishing.
You sort of reminded me of like when I was going through my functional medicine studies, they were speaking about flax oil and how that can be used as a moisturizer and having lots of other different benefits to the body, obviously. but it's, of course, you're going in there like naive, but I'm thinking, okay, I'll pick up this bottle of flax oil and use it as a body moisturizer. It has, well, first of all, it doesn't have the nicest smell, but the secondly, it's highly pigmented as well. So
Mhm.
I started noticing like my sheets and my white clothes. I'm like, why is this like why does this seem like a little bit off color or whatever? But anyway, so it just speaks towards like you got to know what you're doing. And yeah, so what do you think about like using coconut oil and other types of plant oils for moisturizers? I like some people talk about olive oil. I mean,
Okay, that's a very good question. I love that question. So I highly recommend organic, cold pressed, whatever oil you're going to choose. Okay,
okay.
this should be organic and cold pressed. You can use an olive oil, a good quality olive oil, not just, the ones you get in the supermarkets.
Right.
Like really read your ingredients. Super
Mm-hmm.
important. Okay. You can do an avocado oil
Mm.
as well. The go-to really for skincare would be almond oil. A lot of people are gearing away from that just because of the nut allergies that many people are
Oh
experiencing.
yeah. Yeah.
There are other options, but if you know that you're not allergic and you have an almond oil, you can easily use that. The
Mm-hmm.
jojoba oil, a fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated coconut oil is the one that they have the molecules removed that doesn't harden. It's not like the cooking coconut
Oh
oil.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because the cooking coconut oil clogs your pores. I wouldn't recommend
Mm-hmm.
using
Mm-hmm.
for your skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the jojoba oil definitely
Mm-hmm.
uh rose hip, but the rose hip gets to be a little bit more expensive. It's really not necessary
Uh,
because if
uh,
you're adding essential oils into the oil, really you're getting all the benefits you're going to need.
okay, so what should one do? I mean, like you mentioned, expensive, like that is something I noticed that, and another reason you want to know what you're doing because you don't want to waste a bunch of money. But let's say, we're going into the winter season now. I live, northern part of the continent. So, what like can I go out to my local drugstore and think that I can pick up like a reasonably I don't know, beneficial but like what would you suggest on a whole body sort of approach to dry skin?
So, I wouldn't say, well, I would, again, I would read the ingredients. Once you
Yeah,
find a company that you trust,
yeah,
then stick to that, be
okay,
loyal to that company.
yeah,
Because they're providing you with a really good, pure product. Because a lot of what happened in the last couple of years, a lot of companies that were clean ingredients, marketing as clean ingredients, have been bought by big companies
mm-hmm.
and the ingredients have changed.
Okay,
So really important to pay attention to the ingredients.
okay.
Um, if you, so should we talk about the expense of the essential oil or just an oil that would provide moisture for the skin?
Let's start with let's start with the moisture. Yeah, the oil that provides moisture to the skin and how to apply it for body, and then obviously move into the face and sort of like a regimen that you would suggest for most people out there.
Mhm.
If we could do
Okay.
that.
Okay. So as far as the carrier oil, jojoba oil has very good properties. It's a very good oil to use.
Mm-hmm.
The essential oils kind of like compound everything. But you can use the jojoba oil on its own. It will provide you with nourishment. It will provide you with hydration.
And can you get that from a local drugstore or no?
So if you have a health food store, maybe
Okay.
like a Whole Foods or a
Yeah.
natural, food store
Mm-hmm.
might have that.
Okay.
Most of like the drugstores and supermarkets do not.
No.
They carry the big brands and those brands, their ingredients are just a little bit shady. So I wouldn't
Okay.
recommend that.
Okay.
Um, As far as the essential oils, I will say that a lot of times what happens is, especially like when I recommended that I really recommend, I myself started with a kit because I found that to be the best approach. Now, if you're single, your kit would be, maybe smaller. If you have a family, I would recommend the bigger kit, just
Mhm.
the bigger sizes in the bottles, just
Mhm.
because if you have a family and you're going to be using it more, it's going to be more cost effective. It may seem expensive at the time, but really every drop counts and every drop goes a long way. And I'm very, very particular with my protocols and my recipes. Like you really pay attention to the drops. In a 15 milliliter bottle like this, there's
Yeah.
250 drops. 250 drops is a lot of drops. You can get a lot of usage from 250 drops. Okay. In
Yeah.
addition to that, for example, my daughter, she used to suffer from her ear infections. She
Yeah.
used to wake up in the middle of the night. I'm helpless. Before I had the oils, yeah. I'm helpless. I'm hopeful that tomorrow I'm going to be able to reach the doctor. And when is the doctor going to be able to see me?
Mhm.
And then I have to find a babysitter for my other two daughters because who's going to the so that the even the whole
Mm.
buildup, the stress that I'm going through, I'm saving so much. I'm saving energy. I'm saving, at the end of the day, it comes out to like 64 cents for one drop of lavender and one drop of tea tree.
Yeah.
So when you break it down, it's an investment, but it's something that's going to last you. It's not something that you need to refill very often. I mean, unless you're falling in love with them and you're using them and sharing them with everybody and you're running low. But if
Right.
you're using it for personal, so when they're the purity, you're paying for the quality, you're paying for the purity,
Yeah.
or just this thankfulness of having this company provide this product for us because most of the companies out there, they really don't care about our health. They don't care about our hormones imbalances and they don't care how we feel. The opposite. I feel like they don't want us to know how to take care of ourselves.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Takes the
No.
control away from us. And so back to the pricing, it may seem expensive. Like each oil, if you break it down, has the different price points. Like frankincense is one of the most expensive oils. It's the king of oils. It's one of those oils you go to when you don't know what to use. That's the one you use. It helps with brain function. It helps with
Mm.
bone density. It helps with anti-aging. It helps with the renewal of the cells. So it's like how are you looking at your health?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I know that in the long run, I'm not going to the doctors, I'm not paying those co-pays on insurance, and I don't have to go to the pharmacy to get my prescription, because I have everything within reach, at every moment that I want it.
That's amazing.
And then I know that as I'm getting older, I'm preventing a lot of, dis-ease in my
Mhm.
body.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah, like when you said, I put a drop on her pillow and I was like, "Oh, really? So thanks for reminding me about that, like how we're talking about droplets here and how um but like when I'm thinking about moisturizing my body and my face though, like, all I can think of is like lathering myself with oil, but that's not what you're, you know,
no.
no.
So for example, okay, so this is a bottle. Like I bought myself a really pretty bottle on Etsy.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
created a face serum for myself. So I took jojoba oil and
Mhm.
I chose the lavender, the tea tree. You'll see I come
Mhm.
back to these because these are
Yeah.
powerful oils. The copaiba, the frankincense. This one has a little bit of lemon because this is one is my lightning serum. Okay. And then
Mm.
I have a big bottle with a pump that is filled
Mhm.
with jojoba oil. And I choose whatever oils I feel like at the moment. Okay. Because it's
Mm.
adjustable. Winter is different, summer's different
Right.
oils I would choose
Right.
to apply. And then I have a pump. So instead of having a Jergens or Nivea or the
Right.
pumps that I have a homemade one, except it's with an oil and not in a cream base. Okay.
Mm.
And then my body is absorbing it, the oil and oil combination again, the membranes, our bodies are
Mhm.
made of oil-based membranes.
Mhm.
So it makes it much easier to absorb into the bodies. And once that's absorbed and the body's used it, there's like there's no oily. Like when you're going to go to bed, you won't have that oily residue. You won't have,
No.
it's not like that
No.
because I don't know how to explain it, but it's just not. Once the body absorbs it and uses it for what it needs, and it's just hydrated now at this point.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. And so you're kind of like, what do you think about like the use of omega omega-3s and like fatty fish and stuff like that. I mean, that's yeah, that's important, right? Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, because actually doTERRA is not just an oil company. They have supplements, which
Oh,
their supplements are based with essential oils and herbs and omega-3s and
okay.
all the B's and the K's and
Yep. Yep.
and everything is based and starts from the oils, and then they choose the right oils and the right combinations for the support internally.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And so, I was sort of, how about use of, I have a few questions here, but
Yes, please.
perfumes. I mean,
Yes. Uh-huh.
so you would never in 1,000 million years walk into a department store and buy, Lancome, like,
Not anymore. Not anymore. So now I call them my pure fumes. Okay.
okay. Mm-hmm.
And the perfume industry uses essential oils, whether it's aromatic or essentials. Aromatic is more for smell. Essentials is essential for our body to have. Okay.
Yes.
So the that place is already using oils. So now I have these amazing oils like a patchouli, or like a lavender or a
Mm-hmm.
vanilla. And then I
Mm-hmm.
start to play, and we all get to
Mm-hmm.
play because it's so
Mm-hmm.
individual. Now,
Mm-hmm.
back to the olfactory, a lot of times people smell an oil smell and like, "Ugh, like I don't like this. This is making me nauseous. I can't smell this." I invite you to give yourself a chance and smell those oils, even though they smell really bad for you. Because what I found is what happens is those smells bring up a certain feeling inside of us that we may not be
Mm-hmm.
ready to handle, or we're not aware of. And it just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
feel right. And we just don't know what it is, and we don't know how to process it. And the more we smell the smell, the more we release those emotions. And we don't
Ah.
always have to have the answers. We don't always have to understand what the emotion is. I think the most important thing is to release it from the body so it doesn't manifest into a
Mm. Interesting.
yeah.
Hmm. I
So
never.
for me, I have a personal story with the smell of jasmine, and jasmine is used in many, many oils, and that's another oil I use as my perfume. In addition to the fact that it has very beneficial benefits, I mean, many beneficial benefits for hormonal balance in the human
Mm.
body. So in addition, I'm getting a perfume. I'm getting support from my hormones, which who doesn't need
Yes.
support from hormones, right?
Yes.
And so when I first smelled it, it made me very nauseous. Like I could not smell the smell. And I was like,
Mm.
this is not possible. How can I not like jasmine? Like
Mm-hmm.
something is not right here. And the more I exposed myself, I felt it. Like I felt something coming up. Again, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't question it. I just let it be, as part of my healing. I'm always healing. And
Mm-hmm.
I let it out. I let the feeling out. And now it's like my favorite smell.
Interesting.
Very, yes.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. How
So yeah,
about
perfumes is a bunch of combination. Again, um, the thing is, everybody and anybody can go buy oils. You can go on doTERRA and
Mhm.
you can order your oils. What happens is when you do that, um, doTERRA kind of puts you like in an orphanage home, basically in their system, and they find out like who is doing doTERRA in your neighborhood, right?
Oh,
And if
okay.
that person has knowledge about whatever, or if they're educating you about doTERRA, that's wonderful. But if they're not, then you're stuck hanging with your oils and you don't really know what to do. So I recommend if you're ever interested, if anybody's ever interested and would like to get my support, because once you're in their system and someone is assigned to you, you
Mm-hmm.
can't get out of that system,
Mm.
system hard to get out of. So I like to educate, I like to guide, and not everybody does that in doTERRA.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's important to know
Yeah.
before just jumping on there, because once you're assigned to somebody else, I can't support you any longer because
Mhm.
just it's not ethically right
Right,
because
right.
somebody else.
Okay. No, and so how about, okay, I want to ask, I want to make sure I ask some questions. Hair growth, is that possible to stimulate the hair follicle?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
you're nodding. That's a good sign. Tell me more.
So I just happened to I learned Indian head massage. That's another tool I use.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and which is very it's all connected. It connects to our facial structure. It connects to the tension we have in our head, which leads to wrinkles. The secret to wrinkles is to reducing the tension in our face. We have
Mm,
muscles in our face, and when those muscles are tight and they're super tight, they create more wrinkles.
hmm. Easier said than done.
Well, so there's certain techniques that I show how to do that I do at home, really, really simple that we don't
Hmm.
think about. And it's part of self-care too. And you could
Yes,
do
it
it for
is.
somebody else. It's you could do it for someone you love, and you can have someone that you love do it for you. It
Mm,
doesn't always have to be a body massage, you know. It can be like,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
pressure. We store a lot of pressure here, you know. People will
Yes.
get angry or upset and they start tensing up their face. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
like as you see a lot of much older people, their face looks all scrunched up. It's not
Mm-hmm.
because it's the aging process, it's the tension in the face
Yes. Yes.
causing that. So the head massage releases a lot of tension that we have, helps with headaches, with migraines.
Mm-hmm.
Like peppermint helps with stimulating the blood. Just the peppermint is something that somebody who's taking blood thinners, you don't recommend that. You don't do that. Don't use the peppermint
No.
you're taking because that speeds up the blood flow.
Mm-hmm.
You want that
Mm-hmm.
for rosemary
Mm.
oil for
Mm.
growth, also for keeping away, unwanted things coming on our head sometimes for children, when they go to school and lice and things like that,
Ah.
those things
Mm.
away.
Mm.
Supports hair growth. Lavender supports hair growth. So yeah, you can do a serum,
Mm.
you can do a spray, you can
Mm-hmm.
gently massage it into your scalp.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the gut health, the keratin production, keratin for the nails, for the hair.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
So you're not recommending Botox then?
I'm about all natural. I'm all about
Just yeah,
natural.
I know.
I
Okay.
have to be honest though, I will disclose I did it once and never again. And I regretted it. And I did it. I had one of my daughters was her bat mitzvah was coming up, and I had like this. I still have it, a very deep line here, and I was like, you know what? Let me try. Everybody's talking about it,
Yeah,
which is still not like me because I'm not that person usually. But I don't know. It just happened. So she did it,
you're
and
in New
like
York.
yeah, from the moment she did it, I was like just itching my forehead. I was like, I needed it to be out. Like I didn't like it. I
Oh,
didn't like how it felt. I said, I'm never doing it again. And then
mm.
I found that we can do acupuncture for our face.
Ah,
Yes, like facial acupuncture, which creates blood flow, which helps
yes.
blood flow. And then I learned some massage techniques, how to do for my face, for lifting, for making the
Mm,
blood flow. So the combination of the movements, the combination of the oil support, the relaxation of the scalp makes a
hmm.
big difference, makes a big difference in our skin appearance, in the texture, and the blood flow.
So you've definitely seen the difference in yourself.
100%. Yes,
100%.
100%. No doubt about it.
And so how about water? I
Yes.
want to ask you about water because like sometimes that the 8 glasses a day or whatever. I mean, I have been drinking a lot of water. I just can't imagine not. But like, is it really hydrating for us?
So yeah, we need to hydrate from inside and from outside. So we need
Yeah,
to hydrate our skin outwardly, but we also need to hydrate our internal organs in order for them to function
yeah.
um, at their best. In addition to that, a lot of people have a hard time drinking the water, and that oils can come into that too, like a lemon oil, a grapefruit
Mm,
oil. You could put a drop in your water. If you have one of those
mm,
bottles that you take with you for the day,
mm-hmm,
you basically the oil residue stays inside, so you can re-pour the water, and you'll still taste
mm.
that one drop of oil that you placed in the morning. Every time you're refilling your bottle, you're still getting the benefits. Oh, cute dog.
I know.
You're getting the benefits of that. It's also very well, besides the fact that it tastes really good. And just to give you a little bit of context, the doTERRA oil is one drop of their lemon oil is like 8 squeezed lemons. The only difference is that you're getting the oil from the rind and the outside of the peel, and you're not getting just the juice from the inside, which is where all the nutrition
Oh,
is.
nice.
All the
Yeah.
nutrients are on the
I
outside.
gotta leave the dog.
Okay.
All
So
right.
for the people who love the lavender flavor, you can easily put a lavender drop in your water. You can do a grapefruit, wild orange. There's
Mm,
variety. You can mix and match.
sounds
Peppermint,
wonderful.
their peppermint oil. One drop of their peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of mint tea. 28. That's how
Wow.
concentrated and strong, and you don't need to use a lot to
Yeah.
get the benefits.
How about the use? So even in cooking, like for example, if you're making if you
Oregano, pasta,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like
lemon dressing. If you run out of lemons, you add it to your olive oil, you make a dressing.
and basil.
Yes,
Yeah.
rosemary, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
For stews, for smoothies. They have a blend that I love. It's my favorite blend because it's kind of like help helped me hold down the fort during, the craziness of, being locked up in the house. It's a blend of oils. So there's like individual oils and then there's blends, like mixtures of
Okay.
oils that they
Mm-hmm.
create.
Mm-hmm.
And this one supports the immune system. And it has cinnamon,
Mm,
clove, and orange,
mm,
and it smells like Christmas. And it
mm.
purifies the air. It legit purifies the air. Like I know in my home, my air is purified. Whatever's happening outside is not in my control, but I can control what's happening in my world. And so this was being diffused throughout the whole time. Anytime there's a virus going on, that is being diffused 24 hours a day. I don't have to think about it. My diffuser is going for 12 hours, shuts down automatically. I don't have to worry about it. 2 drops of oil in a diffuser that runs about 12 hours.
Wow. Okay, so you have no air purifiers in the home or
I
anything
don't
like
need them at this time.
no, no. So
Humidifier I use when it gets dry. In New York, the
right.
apartment the air gets dry. So
Yeah.
in the humidifier, I will place only you cannot place essential oils in any humidifier, but
Okay.
doTERRA makes a one that you can.
Oh,
But most humidifiers you cannot put oils in.
oh, interesting. So which oil do you put in your humidifier?
So the
The
blend that I
blend.
mentioned is called On Guard. It's like
So
your guard. It really protects.
and that's the one with the cinnamon and all. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So like is there any complaints in your house about like, the kids or your husband going, "Oh my God." Like I
Yes.
mean, yes, yeah. Okay.
My husband, number one complainer. He's very sensitive to smells because he's not the one doing emotional work and emotional development. And I really believe it's triggering things
Yes.
inside of him.
Yeah.
So I've found some smells that he's okay with. So I'll diffuse those when he's around. And
Yeah.
but for my girls, they each have a diffuser in their room. I close the door and then I create their environment for them. Because my youngest, she used to suffer from RSV, which is a respiratory virus.
Mm.
And when she was younger, she was treated as a asthmatic. But with the
Mm.
oils and signing her up for swimming, her lungs are much stronger. She's hasn't had to use the nebulizer or anything for the past 2.5 years, I want to say.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I should set you up with yeah, I have a family member that at birth he somehow contracted this lung, sort of I'm not going to say it's a disease. It's more like much more prone to um yeah, viruses and bacteria. So, yeah,
Yeah.
this would be something very important.
Yeah.
Um
That would be great.
COVID. I just wanted to like a quick like I mean maybe we touched on that because you just talked about the immune system. But like was there a go-to for you during COVID or how did you uh,
On guard.
on
On
guard?
guard was my go-to.
Okay.
I was applying that to the bottoms of the feet. I make like rollers, like like
Oh
the
yeah,
little
yeah, 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 yeah,
the
yeah.
rollers, and you roll it on the back of the spine and the back of the neck, pulse points, so it's absorbed faster
Mm,
internally. It's diffused
mm-hmm.
in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we use it for colds, and for maintenance as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it sounds to me like I mean you're approaching health through a lot of like body work, sort of when you think about acupuncture, yeah,
reflexology,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
massage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That combined with the essential oils, combined with nutrition, you feel like you are kind of in control of your health, right? Which is
100%.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's like you say, it's so calming to think that you don't have to run to a doctor, or what's going to happen overnight, or fevers, or yeah, anything like that.
Yeah, I
So
want, I just remembered something I didn't
yes,
get it to touch on, which is also very important, is that, the stress on our shoulders, a lot of people
yes.
feel that. And I want to remind us that like our neck is like the bridge between our head and our body.
Mm-hmm.
No good blood flow in our neck, in our shoulders, if the blood isn't flowing, that we need to help that. We need to help ourselves release that blood flow so there's rejuvenation in the face. Because the
Mm-hmm.
flow isn't moving, the blood isn't moving, the oxygen isn't getting to where it needs to go. Cells have a harder time renewing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So the neck, shoulders, maybe do some shoulder rolls, some neck stretches. You could start with that. Those are simple.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like you've also reminded me one other thing, and then I'm gonna have to let you go, is sort of, as a psychotherapist, and knowing all that I do about holistic healing, and such. Like I had this like minor surgery coming up, but um it was like, that's the thing, like the mind is so powerful. I was like trying to feel and think, very positively about this, doing a lot of reframing of my thoughts and things like that. But it was really interesting. I noticed that my back was especially sore like a couple days prior and the appointment day. And I was like, oh, I should go for like, yeah, some sort of back massage or something like that. Not even combining it with the idea of that, the same like the surgery. And then I also, my one tooth, or some teeth, had become really sensitive to cold, like cold water that I was drinking. I was like, oh, I'm gonna need to make an appointment with my dentist. I wonder what's going on. I hope I'm not getting a. And then after the surgery date, again, and this was very minor surgery, like after the surgery date, it's sort of like I noticed, oh, my tooth is not sensitive. Like, should I cancel that? But I ended up going to the dentist appointment. My back was fine, like a day or so after, my 100% fine. And but when I went to the dentist, he said, "Oh, you could be grinding your teeth." And I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. I don't grind my teeth at night. I've never have. I'm not an anxious person. It's just sort of because I know this is something that a lot of my clients might be suffering with." But then I started to think of it. It's like, oh, interesting. The back plus the teeth. And I was like, oh, even though I was trying so well to feel positive about the surgery, etc., that I do live in a country that the surgery is free, something was caught on time, etc., etc. That darn mind, was affecting, like I couldn't do it. So what what would you say in that event, if we had something that we kind of know is worrying us, but what could we
So,
do?
so there's pre-surgery and post-surgery kind of stuff we
Right.
can do for ourselves. And so I would go for the calming oil, really I would go for the lavender. There's another blend that I've been
Mm,
using. I've been dealing with a lot of just emotional like circumstances. And there's
mhm,
a blend, it's called adaptive, and it's kind of like its name. It helps you adapt to certain
mm,
situations. So just like really like, using the oils to support me to calm down, I would use the frankincense also because it's going to help me renew
mm,
my skin cells. And as I'm going into surgery, I'm already renewing the cells.
Mm,
The surgeon's doing what he
mm,
needs to do, and then when I get out, I'm going to continue. So I'm like hyper activating my production of the
mhm.
new skin cells, and just even knowing that I have a bottle to go to, I open it, I take 3 deep breaths. When whoever takes the time to just stop in the middle of the day and take like 3 yoga deep breaths, what
Absolutely.
that can do for you, and then having the scent support you as well, and
Mhm.
just allowing yourself to understand that this is okay, and having those
Mhm.
conversations with ourselves, and
Mhm.
just having the tools. If you don't meditate, you have an oil you can smell. And I, even to my
Mhm.
surgery, I took my oils to my recovery room and I diffused my
Mhm.
oils, and the nurses would like run into my room all the time, like, it smells so good in your room, we just want to be in your room.
Oh,
And it made them want to come to my room, which made them happy, made me happy. And
exactly.
it's like a chain reaction. It affects everybody.
Oh my goodness, especially in a
Yeah,
hospital setting. There's no
exactly.
worse,
I
I'm just
know.
thinking like everything that's like the hygiene and everything. It's just like,
Yes.
yeah. So, well, thank you so much. I think you know, this is the first time I have somebody on my podcast speaking about essential oils, but it's just, I guess, another tool in the toolbox that we can use towards promotion of our health and our immune system and our emotional, spiritual, mental, fortress that we have to maintain. And yeah, so I really appreciate having you.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. It was so much fun sharing this information.
And we will connect all your info in the show notes. So if anybody wants to connect with Shirley later, they can do that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're very welcome.
See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks once again for joining me on another great episode of I Think I Can podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe below so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And until next week, treat each day like it was your last, because each new day is a privilege that we shan't take for granted. Cheers and have a great week. Bye bye.